right, welcome everybody. Thanks for being with us here on the morning program. We've got a lot of news and information coming up. But right now, we want to say good morning to the mayor of Tulare. He joins us live on the program this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the mayor? Carlton Jones.
Yay!
Hey, good morning, Carlton.
Congrats for joining us.
There you go.
Congrats for being the second in-studio live guest with us.
A second one?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, because Bill Ziegler and Lindsay, he was our very first in-studio Facebook Live.
Ah, we didn't have anybody between, huh?
Nope.
Yeah, once a week we try to do it, Carlton, and I'm glad you're here with us, and we can chat a little bit about what's going on in your town.
Thank you
PK.
for having me.
Oh, hey, it's our pleasure, believe me. PK, you can start this little party.
Okie dokie. I'm looking over the face sheet of the agenda, and we've got a lot of surplus vehicles that we are going to be moving down the road. And it appears maybe from all departments, because as I look further, we're getting new equipment, new vehicles for several different departments. How much life do you get to squeeze out of these vehicles?
Well, it depends on their usage. Normally, vehicles that don't do a lot of driving will last a little longer, but like the police cars and the fire engines, they normally will have a shorter lifespan, and we try to catch it at that right time where we can get as much money as we can for them to put back into the program to buy new vehicles.
All right. So we're also getting, I see, a new, was it for the K-9 unit? A new police unit for K-9?
Yeah, and that would be a custom unit that's designed with a box for holding animals like dogs and cats.
So does that mean we have a new K-9, or we just needed to replace the vehicle?
I'm not sure. Normally when you do a purchase like that, if there's life in the older vehicle, it can stay as a reserve for a little while until they make the decision that it's no longer safe for animals to ride in or for our employees to drive. But we'll get a new one. It doesn't mean that we're getting a new dog or animal control officer. It just means that we're getting a new vehicle.
Okay.
Let me ask you something, Carlton, if you don't mind. I know that we've been, chatting back and forth for years now, actually. But being on the program, first of all, thanks for being here. And really happy to have you in the house because we get to have you live on Facebook. And number two is, are you surprised right now in the last couple of elections? Are you surprised at all by the way that things have turned out? Some people are telling me they're still surprised that some of the old folks that were there before are not there anymore. Does this surprise you, or is this just a show of a big change? People want change.
You know what? It's just a show of outreach and participation. I believe that when there's an election and you have a good voter turnout, then that's what you go by. Typically in this area, our voter turnout has been low, especially if it's off presidential election years. But, it's the process for politics as far as one person representing many is a good process. I think that people have to go out and do that work. And then it's a pretty tedious task. You're taking time away from your family. You have to take the criticism. Some people get tired or burnt out, and it's time to kind of either cycle out or rotate out, and there's nothing wrong with that. We appreciate all of the elected officials in the past, and hopefully they stay connected and can feel good about what we're doing as newly elected officials.
Okay, that sounds fair enough to me. PK.
Well, and it's just that Mayor Carlton's approach to some of the committees and commissions is to encourage new blood, correct?
Yeah, and just new ideas. There's a lot of people who've always wanted to get involved and has looked for an avenue to get involved, and I try to provide them that opportunity. We definitely want different ideas in different walks of life, and then there's people that have been there a very long time, and they've done a good job. Some of them don't want to leave the office and leave those spots vacant. We used to have a hard time recruiting people, and now it's getting easier and getting better, and this council is doing a lot of outreach and asking for the support of the community to come out and put in for these spots. And then as you have different council members, you encourage a different block of people. There's a lot of people that I grew up with that are now interested in serving on boards and getting involved in their local government, and in the position that I'm in, I get to encourage them and give them those opportunities.
Yeah. And to me, I think that's what it's all about. And it sounds like that's what you're all about in the city of Tulare. And you are getting more and more people around to do some of the things in the city of Tulare that hadn't been doing those things before, which I think is kind of cool. My next question is really, what are we going to do about a hospital for the city of Tulare? Your city needs a hospital. I mean, I don't know how many urgent cares they have in town or that sort of thing. We still have some of those in Tulare. Correct?
Yeah, we do have some clinics, and then Visalia has some pretty amazing clinics. It's definitely a blow to our public health. To have our hospital closed is not a good thing. And we increased the amount of time that it would take someone to get to a hospital in an emergency situation. So we have a meeting tomorrow. It's a joint meeting with the newly elected board members and the city of Tulare. Hopefully we can, just offer our support and see what we can do. I don't know how we got here, and that's for them to answer. And those are some of the questions that I want to, people ask me, and I'll ask those questions tomorrow, is exactly how we got here and what can we do to work together to get us out of this situation, to make sure that our hospital comes back.
Do you have any idea how many patients were actually taken out when they decided to close? I mean, I know it's not your main goal or your main job there, but were there a lot of patients in TRMC when they closed it?
You know what? I'm not sure exactly how many patients were there. The scariest part is if someone has an emergency like a heart attack or a car accident that's pretty close. The key is to get them to advanced medical care as fast as you possibly can, and this definitely creates a challenge and increases that time. I really don't know how many people were in there, but those are questions that we can ask tomorrow.
Fair enough, PK.
I was just curious to know if you had much interaction with Sean Baluki when he was heading up the hospital prior to a couple of changes, a couple of turnovers, and then Dr. Benzivi stepping up.
And there was a couple of people that were between Sean Baluki and Benzivi. As a community member, I went to a couple of meetings when they started to have issues with the bond money and the construction of the tower. And those meetings were heated way back then. That was one of the weird things I saw when I saw Sean Baluki and how he addressed the board. I kind of said he's not going to stick around too much longer. And the couple of administrators that they brought in between them, I thought were doing a pretty awesome job. But, for whatever reason, they were gone. Benzivi came in and did an awesome job with the emergency room, getting it cleaned up and back on track. And then when they made him when he came up with HCCA and became the director of the entire hospital, I didn't really agree with the changing of the name, taking Tulare off and putting HCCA over it. And I talked to them about that. And, one of his concerns was that the Tulare District Hospital had a reputation that he was trying to change, and he thought HCCA would be a better idea. And that's their job. I just shared my opinion with them as a citizen. I don't even think I was on council yet when I first met him and we had that conversation. There are things that I disagreed with as they went along. I didn't like the language in the new bond that they tried to pass, but that's not for me to make that decision. That's with the board, and I didn't have the information that current board did, and so I don't second guess their decisions. I just supported them, and now that we have a new board and they're taking the hospital in a new direction, I'll support them as best I can too.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, what's the latest with the cart mill development? Can you fill us in on that? How's it coming?
We'll be talking about that at tomorrow's meeting and talking about we're going to widen it and the repairs that are coming from 99 to, it'd be just east of Hillman, that the improvements that we're making. We'll get an update on where we are with construction. We have a consultant company coming in and, we're moving forward.
All right.
Isn't that, I'm trying to remember, but my brain is telling me that's the area where the big church and apartments, is that where that is? That negative space I pass?
It'd be close to that, but
okay.
That's more to the, that would be more to the north, to the south of what we're talking about. We're
Okay.
talking about expanding Cart Mill,
Okay.
widen it to 4 lanes, putting in the infrastructure like the water lines and the electricity. And these are things that should have happened closer to the construction of the Cart Mill overpass to make it ready for developers to come in and build.
Hey, where's Wes? Anybody seen Wes? Anybody
I
seen
had to
Wes?
think there for a minute.
Yeah. Actually, where is he? He's got to be, in a couple of posts that I posted last week, he was right there posting on my post.
Yeah, he's still around and
Yeah.
doing his thing. It's I did get my first update on where we are with that, and I can say now that I do support the city manager's decision and what he's doing. There's still a lot of parts that needs to come out of that. They're very confidential investigations. You heard Sheriff Boudreaux talk about the issue that's happening in his department, and you really can't share too much when there's an ongoing investigation because it jeopardizes what you have going on and the privacy of Wes, and out of respect for the privacy of what the city of Tulare is doing. It's just one of those things where you have to sit and be patient and be responsible governors to your city.
Is there any end to this thing in sight? Do you have any idea whether it's going to be soon or later? Or?
I have my ideas, but they're just my ideas. As a council member, it's kind of out of my hands to
Right.
make decisions on that. I'm like everybody else. Sooner is definitely better than later, but responsible work is most important.
Absolutely.
So what do you find most exciting or most important on the agenda for tomorrow for the Tulare City Council?
Right now, it's that meeting with the hospital. That's very important. We get a lot of questions, and some people don't understand or even want to accept the fact that council members were kind of playing the background when it comes to what's happening with the hospital. But we do try to take their questions and find those answers and get back to them. And this is the best way to do that, is to sit down and have a joint meeting. We can ask all the questions that we're getting from our constituents. The hospital can kind of give us direction on what they want to do and how we can help them. And as a council, we will decide what we can do and how we can help them, and make sure that doing anything doesn't jeopardize the city at all, especially our finances.
All right. You want to take a break? Take a little break and then come right back?
Yes, I think that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, we're going to take a little break. But first, before we take that break, mention a few names that are listening in or watching this morning. The Brewbakers are watching today. Melissa and Joanne Brewbaker are in. We also have Joanne Duarte Bento, who is online with us. Hey, how you doing? And what else we got? Amy Wather, is that how I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And we have Palin Jones. If I'm screwing up your name, sorry. But anyway, yeah, Ruben Macareno is viewing us. Ruben, what's up, my man? We also have, let's see, Anna Holbrook, I think it is. Donette Silva Carter. I've heard that name somewhere before.
Sounds familiar.
I remember a Donette Carter, but put that S in there, that Silva thing. I'm totally lost.
She's been an awesome addition to our city.
She has been an awesome addition, I'm sure. And some of those names go on. Did you want to mention a couple or no?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
All right,
don't know
problem.
who's checking us out.
Let's go ahead and take that break. We'll come back in 60 seconds. Our guest today, Carlton Jones. Stay with us.
Are you looking for an experienced dermatologist? Do you suffer from athlete's foot, skin discoloration, shingles, itchy skin, a cold sore that won't heal? How about varicose veins, cellulitis, rash, or hives? Dr. Beverly Lewis at Porterville Valley Prompt Care Medical Center can help. Dr. Lewis is a licensed dermatologist who has been in practice for over 37 years. Dr. Lewis also performs cosmetic procedures, including hair and tattoo removal, laser therapy, phototherapy, and filler injections such as Restylane and Juvederm. These add volume to the skin, smoothing wrinkles around the mouth and eyes. They can also be used for lip augmentation, acne scars, scar removal, and dark circles. Call Dr. Lewis today at 781-3014 for an appointment. What have you got to lose besides pain and wrinkles? That's 781-3014.
Win a share of over $11,000 in cash and prizes with Eagle Mountain Casino's Veterans Day Slot Tournament. The tournament begins at 2 p.m. Visit EagleMTNCasino.com for details. Your entry may be free. All active military and veterans receive 1 free entry and 1 free buffet with valid military ID. Hungry? Enjoy our buffet for just $19.99 and receive $15 bonus cash back. Celebrate Veterans Day with us Saturday, November 11th, only at Eagle Mountain Casino in Porterville. This November, you get to enjoy your steak with a lobster tail too. Only at Eagle Mountain Casino's award-winning River Steakhouse. Every Wednesday through Sunday, enjoy a 10-ounce ribeye steak and succulent 6-ounce lobster tail with garlic mashed potatoes, seasoned vegetables, and your choice of super salad for just $47. Plus, get $30 back in free play.
Some exclusions apply.
Steak and lobster, November 8th through the 19th, only at Eagle Mountain Casino in Porterville.
You're listening to Hopper in the Morning with PK the Redhead on Newstalk 1450.
We're back at it. Thanks so much for joining us here in the morning program on Facebook Live. We do it once a week, and today we picked a good one. Carlton Jones on a Monday morning. He's our chat guest normally at this particular time anyway. Good to have him in the studio. Did you have a hard time finding the place, Carlton?
No, not at all. No.
You didn't look for the 4th floor or anything?
Nope. I was waiting for someone to escort me from my car, but they never.
We fired that guy.
The valet service,
Yeah.
no more.
Oh, he was taking things he shouldn't have taken.
Yeah.
Take from the property room in there. Because there was keys hanging up in there. No, okay. How come I can never have a little fun? Just a little fun.
Those metal bars on your door need to swing out the other way. That's the firefighter in me.
No, I hear you, man.
That's why you said that. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Hey, is Ringles? Do you still work with Mike Ringle?
Yeah, he's on the captain's list. He's getting ready to promote, so he's not in our station, but we've been together for over 10 years, and he's promoting the captain right
now. How about that? Well, you can tell him I'm still living in his house.
All right.
It's not his house anymore, but it's my house now.
I'm glad you clarified that because people, it's like, are you supposed to be living in this guy's house?
Couple of more quick questions for Carlton Jones.
I'm just curious. I know that we're getting a new animal control vehicle. How is the animal control facility in Tulare doing? Because for a while there, when it was first new, I was in contact with that department a lot. Mr. Furton, I think, wasn't it? Yeah. And things seem to be going well. Are we still having successes and a lot of adoptions?
We are. Things are going well there. Whenever it comes to your animal control, funding is always an issue because there's not a lot of money coming into that service. But we definitely support it as a city. It's an important amenity to our city. They do great with animals and the way they communicate with the public. So yeah, we're very proud. It's definitely a beautiful facility and top notch.
And don't you take animals from other cities, not just Tulare?
I'm not sure if they do that or not.
Because I know that at one point when Visalia was getting ready to build theirs, there were a lot of other cities that serviced with Visalia that went different places. And I seem to think that there was somebody that was at least kicking tires to take their strays to Tulare, but I've slept since. I've forgotten.
And I wouldn't know. I'd have to ask Mr. Furton.
Yeah. Okay.
So I read, I don't know if I was this morning or earlier in the weekend, but anyway, I know that it's Tulare County that's beefing up their DUI stuff that's happening, or is it the city of Tulare? Did you read that?
No, it's the county.
It is the county.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Do they stop a lot of folks through Tulare?
I'm not one of them, but our cops do a good job at that. But even when you do stuff like that, and you still have people who, there's so much education and outreach on trying to prevent DUI accidents. I see them far too often, and lives are so devastated. I'm not sure if that was the case at the accident in Visalia, but there's 3 kids who lost their mom, and they'll be devastated for the rest of their lives. And they're so preventable today with cab rides and Uber and Lyft and friends, and there's so many ways to get home safe. Every year at New Year's, and I get together with a bunch of friends, and we make ourselves available just to get people home, and we'll drive them home from wherever they're at, and in the morning we'll take them back to get their vehicle.
I got to have your number then, because you never know. No, I've
got his number.
But I'm impressed, and I think that's a great thing to do. You do a lot of really great things for your city, and you know what? We appreciate you being here today, Carlton, and I hope you enjoyed a little bit of it anyway.
I do. This is pretty cool to see what happens. It's it's different when I'm on the phone with you and I can either be just chilling and going over my notes and relaxing, but this definitely adds a little stress factor. And I appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, I can see it now sitting in his jammies. Yeah, well, here's what we're going to do. You could have brought your jammies. That would have been all right.
Do you have bunny slippers?
Yeah, they told me that, like, the people on TV I'll only dress up from the waist up, and I was concerned what I would see when I came here. So.
All right, man. Well, listen, thank you so much for being with us. Time is telling me I got to get out of here, so we appreciate you, Carlton. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you, and I just want to say before I go, congratulations to both the Tulare football teams, Tulare Western and Tulare Union.
Absolutely.
Amazing seasons, and they gave us one of the most amazing Bell games that I've ever seen. It's going to be fun watching them both in the playoffs. We have 2 number 1 seeds, and we also Mission Oak. Don't sleep on them. They have a number 1 seeded volleyball team, and they play tomorrow night. So there's a lot going on in Tulare, especially for the student athletes. And you guys are always welcome to come out and hang out with us.
All right. We appreciate it, Carlton.
All right, thank
you so much. All right, PK, we're going to take a little break right here. The news is coming up at the top of the hour. After that, you got 40 seconds.
We have a man that was arrested for an attempted sexual assault, a fire at the crime lab, the sheriff's crime lab. The sheriff weighs in a little bit on that. We check back with Assemblyman Mathis and conspiracy. What exactly does that mean in court? That and more coming up.
I think we'll find out, don't you?
I do.
I do, too. You're listening to News First.
KTIP, Porterville, Tulare, the South Valley's News Talk leader. News Talk 1450. Your local news source, KTIP Radio.